that Monty Python film, the last one we ever made. It all started in an Indian restaurant in Soho, because we just made, what was it, Holy Grail, that's right, and we thought, well, what are we going to do next? And we were sitting there enjoying our curries, and somebody said, well, what about a comedy set in the Holy Land at the time of Christ? And we thought, well, nobody's done that before. Eric Idle said, well, call it Jesus Christ Lust for Glory. We let that go after a few days. It's Python's best film by far, I think, because it's got a good story, and it's about something. Some people thought that it was an attack on religion or Christian teaching. No, it was vaguely fun of the way that some people follow a religion. Because after all, if you think about it, sometimes followers of a great teacher finish up believing the complete opposite of what the teacher actually taught. You know, if you think of the late 16th century in Spain, where they had the auto da fe, when they burned heretics, you know, they sort of herded them all in the middle of the village square and everybody gathered round to watch, and then they tied them to posts and burned them alive by setting fire to the wood round them, you know. And I always think that if Jesus had come over and walked by because he heard the screams of pain and said to an Inquisition guard, why are you burning these people alive and causing them such agony? When the guard said, well, Saviour, the thing is that they have a different interpretation from ours of your gospel of love. I think Jesus would sound awfully sorry, but I think you've missed the point. More recently, the Catholic Church and the paedophile priests, I mean, the clear lesson from them was that most people in the Vatican were more concerned with protecting the Vatican's power and reputation than in protecting its victims, you see. Because the last thing that Jesus' teaching is about is power. Or if you're in parts of the United States, particularly in the South, you find evangelical Christians who think that Christianity is an offshoot of capitalism, you know. Not blessed are the poor, but blessed are the very, very rich and greedy. And it's kind of funny when you consider that for the first 1,500 years of the Christian era, lending money at interest was considered a sin. Still, that one went out of the window rather fast. So I think Monty Python was entitled to point out the contradictions of some kinds of religious behaviour. But the scene that the churches disapproved of the most was this one. Message of think for yourself and don't let people tell you what to do, that they told their followers not to see the film. That's very funny. When Life of Brian was shown in New York, it was condemned by the Lutherans, the Catholics, the Orthodox Jews, the Rabbinical Alliance of America, the Calvinists, the Baptists, and the Morons. Mormons! Eric pointed out that we could accomplish something very special and unusual for the first time in recorded history. We got all the churches to agree on something. So, I've been going on nearly an hour. I think we need a drink. I certainly do. So I'll be back in 20 minutes when we've all had a drink, and I'll be explaining why it's such fun offending people, and I'll be giving you some tips on how you can offend people yourself.